We've seen a lot of each other over the last couple of months. It's not my forte to do this at all, and I intend to speak for approximately 10 minutes, and I've prepared some notes which I will refer to. I'm speaking on behalf of the Glennon family only, and if I stumble, just understand. In her book, Ciara's Gift, my wife Una described the grief of losing Ciara as follows. She said, "Days that are meant to be days of celebration are now days tinged with sadness. There's always somebody missing, a conspicuous absence, an empty chair. Her silence speaks louder than our words. We miss her acutely." Those words were written by Una in 2012, and they resonate today with imperishable clarity and meaning still. When Ciara was deemed a missing person, I appealed for help to find her in a press conference like this, in this very same room. And through tears, I said she would fight for her life because of the way she was brought up. She would fight for her life. And little did we know then how prophetic these words would be. As she fought to save her life, she left us the vital DNA clues. Ciara was strong in spirit, had courage, great courage. But yet, as she fought to save her life, she could not save herself because of the brutal assault by her murderer. Not known by many people, but we were not permitted to view Ciara's body. Her wounds and injuries were too gruesome. I read the complete autopsy report shortly after it was compiled. It contained the photographs of the fatal injuries to Ciara's neck. The same images were disclosed during the trial, but were unseen by the public. They were too confronting. For 23 years, I have lived with those images. Shortly after her funeral, I visited Ciara's grave in Karrakatta alone, and there I made a personal commitment to her. I told her I would do all in my power to find the person or persons responsible for killing her, or I would die trying. And since then, that promise, that commitment to Ciara has driven me unwaveringly and unapologetically. Now, the unraveling of the complex DNA evidence, the fibre evidence, the propensity evidence, the unraveling of those by many, many specialists worldwide is now public knowledge. So there's no need for me to add anything to it today. My family has no criticism of what the police or the scientists might have done better during the very lengthy investigation. We have no critique of those involved. They did the very best they could with the information, with the methods, with the equipment that they had available to them at that time. And nothing revealed in the trial came as a surprise to us. Nothing, including the honest mistakes. Before expressing gratitude to the many people, my family wishes to make one observation. And since Ciara's murder, there have been countless heartbreaking setbacks. And most were triggered by media reports containing selective information to support predisposed opinions. And the reports were, somewhat understandably, based on deficient interpretations of a never-increasing labyrinth of evidence over so long. The reports, they serve little or no legitimate public interest value or purpose. The dramatic headlines, the subjective content, repeatedly cast doubt on the investigative work of the police and the analytical work of the chemists, the scientists, all of whom I know were working diligently and conscientiously with what they had to work with at the time they were working on the case. And this form of reporting, I can assure you, inflicted needless, additional suffering on my family. The stomach-churning, sinking feeling such reports delivered is beyond words. And I can assure you, my family is not alone in making that observation. For over 2 decades, such reporting occurred. They're on record. There's no denying that fact. And I thought then that suspicion and skepticism do not have to be the prime currency of dealings between the media personnel and those seeking truth and justice. Thank God we live in a civil society. But in a civil society, our society, we believe journalistic standards and editorial stewardship that tap the deeper well springs of what I've called the long-established principles of impartiality and empathy are indisputably superior alternatives. Now, I quickly add, this observation from my family is not a criticism by us. It is simply an observation. It is our lived experience. In contrast are those in the media who, with acumen and wisdom, crafted balanced reports that were sensitively worded, were transparent. These were a welcome respite, and we thank the people responsible. And I'd like to repeat that para. I'd like to thank the people responsible for those balanced reports. Moving on from that observation then to gratitude. It's not possible for me to thank, on behalf of my family, the many people to whom we owe gratitude. Let me try. 2 friends, members of the public, business colleagues, who contributed to the Secure Community Foundation shortly after Ciara was murdered. We extend our sincere thanks. They provided the key early financial assistance to secure what was then pioneering DNA analytical equipment and investigative techniques for Western Australia. We thank Professor Jonathan Whittaker and his team in the UK for that crucial first DNA breakthrough. We thank the scientists at the Chem Centre, Path West, here in Perth, for their dedicated, tenacious, and very comprehensive work leading to the second major DNA breakthrough, and indeed the very comprehensive body of work on fibre identification and matching. We thank Dr. Ray Palmer in the UK for his unique contribution to fibre analysis. We thank the 200 plus witnesses for their courage in coming forward. And we thank the scientists, the profilers, the case reviewers, the specialists in New Zealand, in the UK, the US, and elsewhere for their painstaking reviews and analytical endeavour over so many years. The WA Police Force deserve a special thank you. They permitted me to enter their world and express my profound desire for justice. They allowed me to assist wherever they believed I could. My request to them for truthfulness of information, no matter how hard to hear and bear, was granted to me and to my family. And this trust and confidentiality will never be forgotten and forever be honoured. Thank you, Commissioner, for that bond of trust. Many of the 500 plus police officers who were involved for many years knew of the significance of this trust-based special relationship, and their willingness to break with orthodoxy, explore new avenues for answers, helped establish groundbreaking investigative practices not only in WA but in Australia. And it was their commitment, their openness, their rock-solid endeavours that sustained us as a family during the times of the aforementioned setbacks. We never doubted their commitment to find the person who murdered Ciara. Not for 1 minute. We thank the various WA governments over the years and the current director of the DPP for providing the needed resources to the prosecution and the police. We thank Carmel Barbagallo, the DPP legal team. Their insightful, penetrating, unrelenting assessment of evidence and their indefatigable advocacy will never be forgotten by us. And no amount of personal exhaustion daunted them. Ms. Barbagallo and all of the DPP ladies who worked on the case are people with very big hearts. As a family, we could not have asked for more. We especially thank them for the sensitivity and empathy, and similar to the WA Police Force, the openness and honesty extended to us pre and during the trial. We acknowledge and thank the Honourable Justice Hall for his objective, transparent and fair trial and his timely delivery of the verdict. We believe he conducted the trial with care, great care, to ensure fairness to both the defence and the prosecution. The accused was presumed innocent. The state bore the onus of proof, and the standard of truth was beyond reasonable doubt. These principles, we believe, remained unqualified, immutable, and uniform in their application throughout the trial. His Honour advised he was not distracted by the huge public interest or publicity from the proper application of these principles. And the axiom that justice must not only be done but be seen to be done was very apt right throughout the case, and I was there practically every day. We express the enduring gratitude to the many people of Western Australia and beyond who continue to uplift us as a family and for their steadfast support over that 23 years. Of course, our thoughts and prayers will continue for Don and Carol Spiers. They too deserve justice. Especially, they deserve to know where Sarah is. Now, crimes such as these inflict unforeseeable collateral damage. They take their toll physically, emotionally, and spiritually on those left behind. As a family, we will not allow ourselves to be prisoners of the past. We have chosen not to prepare or provide victim impact statements, partly for that reason. The past is unquestionably, for us, engulfed by sadness, and that is a powerful force. But as a family, the past is transcended. It's transcended by the fond memories of Ciara. Yes, memories watered by tears, but also caressed by her spirit, her ready friendship, and above all, her courage. These memories will continue to apply healing balm to past suffering. Now, life shadows are lengthening for Una and Dennis. And from here, we will together move forward with equanimity, renewed purpose and meaning, shepherded by those fond memories I've mentioned from the past, but melded with the future, with our daughter Denise and her family, with our friends, and with the thoughts of enduring gratitude to so many people. And as you know, I've had a deep personal involvement for more than 20 years in this case. I now intend to cease that personal involvement, but I depart with a peaceful belief that justice has been delivered to Ciara. Now, these are the only public comments that the Glennon family intend to make. And as the Commissioner has already touched upon, my preference is no questions today. I like to bite it off in small chunks that I think I can manage. So we'll defer those to perhaps another time with your permission. Thank you very much.